How's it going, everybody? Again, we come with bad news, and I hate that this keeps happening, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed because this isn't the first time it's happened. Obviously, with the current state of the world, we're in a very unique circumstance to where things have not been the greatest, primarily when it comes to getting certain people to certain locations of the world. And the United States tends to be a little bit of a culprit with that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we most recently had a live event, the first live event for Rocket League Esports in 2.5 years in Los Angeles. They went to the SoFi Theater, and we saw a bunch of teams come and compete, 16 of them in particular, -1. And the reason why is because the Falcons, previously Sandrock Gaming, could not get visas secured so they could legally come to the United States to compete. And unfortunately, it looks like it's happening again. Not obviously for the Falcons, maybe, I don't know, knock on wood, maybe we see it happen to others, but as of right now, the best team based upon rankings and stuff in SSA is having it happen to them. If you guys don't know Orlando Pirates, or their full name, Orlando Pirates XD, they are the winningest team in the SSA region, which we have not gotten to see yet. The SSA region in particular has not been able to compete at any of the international majors. So for them, a chance to be one of the teams that is ranked 9th to 24th going into the wildcard stage, trying to play in a Swiss-style tournament, exposed to the entire world, is a really big deal. They've had an entire season, and this is the one international event they get. A chance to be exposed to other play styles, other regions, other capabilities, and bring that back home and get better. These are the things that are what these players are playing for, to compete on the big stage for the World Championship. And it's really frustrating that yet again, this continues to be a problem. So if you guys don't know Orlando Pirates or their history, to put it into perspective, there is one team in the world in Sandrock Gaming, now Falcons, that has won every single regional. They've won all 9 in MENA, even with dropping to the lower bracket. And the most successful team outside of that, I'm pretty sure, is actually the Orlando Pirates in SSA. They have gone first, second, second. That is the worst they've done, is second place over the entire season. They're really dang good. Second to them is Bravado Gaming. And the frustrating thing is they ended up putting out a tweet, which I will put up on your screen in just a second here as I enhance and do some hacker magic like they do in the movies, aka zooming in and improving quality magically somehow. But XD Gaming, which again, keep in mind, Orlando Pirates is the Orlando Pirates Football Club in partnership with XD Gaming. So it is the same. But they put out a tweet saying, hey, our Rocket League team's expedited visa request for the wild card got declined. Does anyone have contacts in the USA consulate? We need help. This is our team. This is who's involved. This is the help we need. They obviously tag Rocket League Esports and everybody else in hopes that the tournament organizer in ESL, as well as Rocket League Esports themselves, can find a way to help out. And this is a really big problem. You're talking about a chance, again, for one of these regions to just not be able to send their best team, which is really frustrating. It kind of puts a damper on the whole event. And it was one of those where there's a lot of talk around the Falcons roster, previous Sandrock Gaming, to what it would have been like to see Ocalid in international play for the first time, to see a roster that we haven't even seen the full strength of. They played with their sub and Senzo. Obviously, we saw Turk pop off, but like, what would it meant for MENA? What would it have done for their seeding? What does it mean for automatic guarantee into the top 8 and being able to skip the wild card stage? Like, there is a point with a circuit-based system where every single match matters. And now you're telling me that they're forfeiting and they're getting the least amount of points, which then carries over. I mean, you're talking for Falcons, they had to forfeit last time. We didn't even get to see them play. We don't know what that effect would have been, what it means for the region. Does that showcase yet again that, you know what, top 6, top 8 isn't a fluke? They are a team capable of being one of the best in the world. But with only one exposure to it, it's hard to have that answer. And it's really frustrating to not be able to see them and play in front of a live audience. Luckily, we do have the Gamers 8 Saudi Arabia tournament where we are seeing Falcons play there. But for SSA, for Africa, we haven't seen them ever. And to tell me that we're possibly going to get that taken away again is really, really infuriating. We did get in the Reddit thread some updates about the way that they're going about it. There was another team in SSA by the name of ATK, which is involved in other esports like Counter-Strike. And someone asked, yo, is this a common struggle for esports? I don't follow anything other than Rocket League. And it can be. There's a lot of difficulties when you're trying to do tournaments in the United States with travel restrictions and everything else. Obtaining visas is kind of a pain in the butt right now. And what ended up happening is the U.S. consulate in South Africa is just not great, from what one of the local people, the SA regional manager, Noob Slice, is stating. The ATK FECS Go team, so ATK, the organization I was talking about, has that CSGO team, mentions that they ended up going to IEM Dallas recently. We had DreamHack Dallas last weekend where they ended up doing the CRL World Championships. IEM Dallas was also going on, and they ended up going to Namibia, a neighboring country, and got their visas approved within a day. So fingers crossed that there is hope that they are going to go to Namibia and be able to get this approval to happen. The scary thing is London is only in a few weeks, so they don't have to worry about that. But you're talking shortly a month after that is when we have it. So the first week of August, on the 4th, is when they have to be ready to go. So we are, fingers crossed, hoping that we do get the ability to see the SSA best team. I mean, the results speak for themselves. They are very, very talented within the region, but we just don't know how they stack up against international competition. And the fact that we might not get to is a detriment. It is one of those things to where I present the question, and it's a weird one to talk about being local. Do we stop trying to run RLCS events in the United States? Because I do think it's a viable question to ask. Because if we are going to keep trying to run Rocket League esports as a whole, and we are not able to have the best competition from all over the world go and compete, I think it is something that needs to be considered. I think Canada is an easy opportunity, and an opportunity that I think is something that we haven't had ever. Canada, Canaland, whatever you want to call it, I think is something that should happen, whether it be Vancouver, Toronto, whatever. I think Canada is a good opportunity for them to do something in international events that may be more accepting of visas. You can always lean into, as well as obviously more European countries, maybe South America, something that is a little bit more of an opportunity for every region. I think these are things that need to be considered, and I hope that the Rocket League esports staff and Psyonix is paying attention to this stuff. I do know this is their first time coming back, and it is something to consider. I don't know if it's a planning thing or otherwise, but the fact that other esports like CSGO with the ATK situation like we were just exposed to about going to a neighboring country is a possibility. I hope these are things that the Psyonix esports team can help with, advise with, and try to give as much, I guess, heads up to help so we don't have teams missing out. Because missing out on things like Falcons, like Pirates, things like this should not be happening. It kind of just diminishes the feeling and the results of everything else, because then you're left with these what ifs, these question marks of like, man, maybe these teams wouldn't have made top 6 or top 8 if Falcons were there, or maybe this team wouldn't have made it into the group stage if Pirates were there. What if Pirates were there? What would they have looked like? Would they have gotten upsets against some of the NA 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seeds? Like, what would that have looked like? These are questions we shouldn't have to ask. We shouldn't have to speculate. It kind of goes back to the same thing as like commentary. I should always know how much boost somebody has. I should know if they have a jump or not. If they have a flip reset available as a commentator, I shouldn't have to speculate about a thing. I hope that we as fans of this game don't have to speculate about the what ifs of how a team were performing due to complications like visa issues. Again, this is something that is way more complicated than that. Trying to organize a venue, make sure that it is available, the price, the cost, the travels, all the, like, there's so many different nuances and variables that go into this kind of stuff, but I do hope it is something in the future that is thought about, and not saying it isn't already. Maybe this is something that they've already considered, but I really do hope that this kind of stuff gets squared away, because it really stinks that if this is going to happen again, especially for the biggest event of the year in Dallas, it just leaves a bad taste. So fingers crossed, and hopefully something in the future, but maybe this means we finally get a LAN in Canada. Leaf gets to go back. We get to see him hosting again at a live event. Who the heck knows? But that is going to do it for this video. Wildcard stuff. I will try to keep you guys up to date as we get through the spring regional this weekend and everything else. We're going to get through Europe. We're going to have our 16 teams that end up making it, all that kind of stuff. We've also got the APAC qualifier going down on Friday. So a lot of things that we're going to have answers to. So we'll be focusing a lot in on the wild card, spring major, and stuff coming up here soon. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out on it, if you guys do enjoy the video, as always, give it a thumbs up, as it does help out a lot. And consider hitting subscribe and turning on notifications to make sure you don't miss out on some of the latest Rocket League news. That's going to do it for me here. For myself, Lawler, as well as chat, hanging out, twitch.tv/Lawler every Tuesday and Sunday. Defruit is going to drop a smiley face, and we are out of here. Have a good one. Peace.